Okay, so we can continue to add to our character until we get him where we want him to be. And so you want to add arms, legs, or maybe not. Maybe we're just happy with him like this. And we want to add other things that we don't want to attach. We want them to be part of the character, but we want them not to be permanent part of the character. For instance, a hat. So say we create a hat and put a hat on our character. When he moves, we're going to want the hat to move with him. But we're also, maybe somewhere down the road, going to want the hat to come off his head. We're not going to want it to be a permanent part of our character. And that's where linking comes in. And let me show you how that works. Okay, so I'm going to create a hat. Let's see. Standard primitives. Let's give him a cylinder. I'm going to leave auto grid on. That kind of works. Just, let's say for the sake of this. Let me give it a different color than that so it really stands out. Okay, now we're different. Okay, so say that's his hat. Say we like that. That's the hat. We're going to go with that. And make sure his head doesn't stick out of the top of it. Okay, let's say that's our hat. We're good with it. I think I was a little off. I can rotate this a little bit. So you want to check this in all the views. Whoops. Come on. Okay. So I want to rotate this just a smidge. If my mouse over here is being wonky. Okay, there we go. So let me straighten this out. Okay, so okay, for the sake of this, we're close enough. In this case, you have to be very careful and really zoom in there, and I didn't. I ended up getting off the center there. So I could always delete this and do it again, but for the sake of this video, we're good. Okay, so that's his hat. I want him to be able to move, and I want his hat to stay with him, but I don't want the hat to become a permanent part of my character. Okay, so we're going to go over here in the upper right-hand corner on the ribbon, and you got a couple of arrows, and then you have select and link. That's the tool we want. Okay, so I'm going to select my character. I'm going to hit select and link, and then I'm going to, you see how I'm going to come back, and you see how the cursor changes? And then when I click on my character, the rubber band, it's called a rubber band because it kind of looks like it snaps. And then it allows me to attach another object. Now, okay, now when I did it in that order, watch what happens. So now I'm going to come in here, I'm going to move my character forward, and watch what happens to the hat. It doesn't come with him, does it? Okay. In most cases, you're gonna, most people want to select the character first. I'm gonna unlink it, which is the button to the next to the side of it. Okay, so now the character and the hat are not linked anymore. I'm gonna click the link, then select and link to the character. Now watch what happens when he moves. The hat goes with him. Okay. So that's the order in which you do this. This is called the child-parent relationship. You always start with the hat, and I want to give it to you in these terms because it's more memorable if you think about this rather than try to remember theory. Okay, you start with the hat or the glove or the clothes, and you link those to your character. Okay, using that select and link tool. You're linking the object to the character, not the character to the object. So now we can move the hat independent of the character, and that may be something that we want to do later on in our animation. Okay, so if we come in here and create some eyes, so we want to add some eyes to our character, let's do that. We would link those. Geosphere. I'm just going to create a geosphere. I'm going to turn off this auto grid. Actually, no, I'm not. Okay, and then I'll make sure I locate this. I'm going to watch in here while I make adjustments in the other views. Okay, I want to bring that eyeball maybe not that far forward. And I'm going to relocate it and then more in the middle here. Actually, I think I maybe want it to sit down right there. Let's say that's where I want my eyeball. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want the eye to follow the character. So I'm going to start with the eye, select and link, click, get the rubber band, and then select the character. Okay. So we have linked the eye to the character. So that now what happens is we're going to move the character, and the eyeball is going to go with him. But at the same time, we can rotate the eye without rotating the character. So his eye is going to move back and forth, and we want to be able to do that. Okay? So you always link the clothes, eyes, parts, and pieces to the main character. Because you're going to end up animating your main character. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? And so we would do that with the other eye. And say we had a pair of lips on here we wanted to move. We would link the lips to the character. Say he had some clothes or something, or he was carrying a bag. Link those to the character. Okay? And that should be enough to get you guys through the first lab. You should be able to use all these things to create your very first character for lab 1. Pretty exciting, huh? There may be some other things that you want to do for your character, and believe me, I get that most people want to do really great, really creative, great models off the bat. But it takes a long time to get to the characters you guys see in movies. Those people that are creating those characters in the movies have 5, 10, and more years experience doing this. Okay? So the main thing you want to learn how to do is work with this, because there's some hand-eye coordination that you got to master in the beginning. This is going to be a lot harder to do than it looks. Remember, I've been doing this for over 20 years. So I make it look easy, and it's not. So just practice, get comfortable with this. We'll get more complicated, and then eventually once we get to a place where you guys can start doing more stuff, you'll start getting and starting being able to create the characters that you want to. In the beginning, keep it very simple. You see how this is simple? This isn't anything complex. Don't try to create human beings. Don't try to create anything realistic at all at this point. You want to create cartoon characters. You want to create simple, minimalistic characters that are easy to work with without being too simple, right? I mean, I don't want you guys just go in and create a sphere and say, this is my character. Because that's, you haven't learned anything, you just go in there and draw a sphere. I want you to employ all of these techniques to create a character and create a good character. But don't make it too complicated. You'll just frustrate yourselves. Okay? All right, we will continue in the next video.